OBS, so we should be going live any second now. It's just testing our broadcast. Waiting for broadcast. This is very different to last time. Oh, that's amazing. Hey, do you see it? Hello. This is very exciting. I've got Timmy Joe here with me. I don't need to introduce you because you know you've been around the block. You're an awesome voice in the space. How's it going, Timmy? Yeah, I had to get my phony introduction out the way. Sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so how's it going? How's it going with your move to the office, if I can ask?
And I did find an open Wi-Fi, and it's for the AIDS Foundation. It says AIDS guest. And I was a little wary about connecting to it.
Oh, okay. That's. Have you been on it yet? Are you?
Yeah, I tested the speeds. It's like a 10 megabit down and a 5 up or something. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have pretty good fiber at home. This is gonna be deadly. But
yeah, that's a pretty huge downgrade. Sorry, I actually had your volume wasn't up, so for the first 15 seconds, but they can hear you now. So I'm sorry about that. That was the technical difficulty.
That's all right. I like 2 weeks ago played a video game for like 10 minutes and never looked at the stream, and everyone's like, I actually physically unplugged my mic.
Oh, what?
Just talking, playing this game called Black Baby.
Oh, okay.
This game?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, Google Black Baby.
Okay.
Video game.
Okay.
Very, very weird game, but very worth the playthrough.
Oh, okay. No, I'll try that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like some indie game that these, I don't know, like Game Grumps guys kind of deal. They found it, and I watched a playthrough of it and just like died laughing. So I knew I had to play it on stream.
That's awesome. Do you have like a Twitch account that you stream on, or do you do your streaming on YouTube?
I did like a few years ago. I did Twitch for like 6 months, and I haven't touched it since.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that. Get back into the streaming, the video games.
I mean, yeah, it's if you're into that, it's pretty different to making content on YouTube, you know, because you can't, like, if you accidentally say something stupid, you can't edit it out, which is like a huge problem I have.
Well, you leave in all about the Chuck Norris and the there's some pretty raunchy stuff you get into sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the stuff I leave in, imagine the stuff I have to cut out.
Yeah, exactly. So how are all the people out there?
Yeah, we've got a lot of people watching. They were helping us get the volume correct. That was most of it.
Cool. The guy you streamed with last time, you've done it a few times with him?
Yes. So we did it twice together, and those were the only 2 streams that I've done on YouTube. Prior to this one. I actually have a question for you, though, that's not at all tech related. I know I'm immediately abandoning ship here already, but in the background of some of your videos, you have a really awesome looking Telecaster. Do you still play a lot of guitar?
Ah, interesting. A lot of guitar, no.
Okay.
But I do play guitar like a few times a week. I have a really bad problem where I have carpal tunnel.
Oh,
and it kills my ability to play guitar, and it's gotten nothing but worse since I was a kid. I need to have the surgeries, and was looking into it about 4 months ago, and it's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, and that seems painful as well. How does that work?
They open up the tunnels in your carpals, I guess, and it can be quite painful. But I've seen some, like, I've got a friend, the guy that was the best man in my wedding, his parents both had it done. Okay. I watched like 55-year-old people recover from it very quickly. So I'd imagine they swear that it's totally worth doing. So it's something like keyboards and stuff don't really do bad, but game controllers really bad. My hands go to sleep, and guitar, and it's super sad. But
Yeah.
so you play guitar then?
Yeah,
Yeah, I see
yeah.
them in the background.
Yeah, yeah. I've also I'm also a telly man. I've also got a Telecaster and
Yeah.
Strat and stuff as well. I really love it.
I have an American Standard Telecaster, sorry, and I don't even play it that much.
Really?
The Telecaster I have is this like thrift store special that or whatever Hawk Shop special
Yeah, yeah.
that I bought, and I've painted it like 50 times, and it has it has really good pickups in it. And I've wired it all myself and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And then my wife's name is Dot, and so I have an Epiphone Dot she got me for Christmas.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So those are like the two guitars I play the most. And yeah, there was a point where I probably had 15 guitars, but I'm down to about 5.
Ooh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a nice collection then. I mean, that's
Yeah, there was my father passed away in 2013, and when he did, I inherited a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Not that much money, we'll say, but like his like pension from his work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, in a time of grief like that, you go, well, I'm just gonna spend a lot of money. So I bought a lot of guitars, and I wish I would have made like a channel about it or something at the time.
Yeah.
Like, or even would have started doing computer tech back then. Like,
yeah.
And you know, hindsight 2020. So
For sure. Yeah. I actually remember you did a couple guitar lessons on your channel, like way back. So I've been watching you for a long time.
That's a really long time ago, man.
Yeah. So I remember those. They were awesome. They were really fun. Yeah, that was really. I think that was like a couple years ago. That was ages ago.
Yeah, that's a really long time ago for sure. Yeah, that was when I didn't even know what I was doing. Oh, you're supposed to play your guitar, Alatar.
Yeah, literally everyone in chat is spamming play the guitar, play the guitar, play the guitar. No, not today. No. I'm not very good. No, that's not gonna go well. And you have to like set it up and stuff. Like it's not. You don't just play guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you guys are lucky by the end, we can get him to go grab that acoustic. And
yeah, we should start a band together. I mean, like imagine the David and Timmy Joe band. I think we could.
Just over Skype.
Yeah, just over Skype. Yeah.
Well, it's the kind of age we're living in.
Yeah, no, definitely. But
so
oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, what's your favorite the telly? What kind of telly is it?
It's actually, I'm pretty excited about it. It's like so it's an American Fender, but it's called an old growth special. So basically there were these redwood bridges somewhere in the northwest of America that was built in the 1800s, and then they tore the bridges down, and then Fender bought up a bunch of the wood and they turned it into tellies. So it's like really light and super resonant because of the old redwood, and it's got like the screw holes and stuff in it still. It's pretty cool.
I've never even heard of that, and I've watched 100,000 guitar videos.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so that's super awesome. Have you seen there's one guy that like makes guitars out of shovels and stuff. He's amazing guitar player. He has a line of guitars that are made out of Jack Daniel's barrels.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're tellies, and they look so cool.
Yeah. Does it have like the branding on and stuff? Like
no, like just whatever like they could fit together to make it look right or whatever. It's like the branding's on it. There's all kinds of notches and stuff they like sand out and stuff. Looks really cool.
Oh, I'll go check that out. After the stream. I actually think I think we got a couple of questions in chat. Are you down to actually chat about some tech stuff?
Yes, let's do it.
So the first one that I just want to address is we've got Warman in the chat, who he's the top folder in my Discord, and he's got like over 250 million points on Fold at Home at the moment. So he's just flexing a little bit, and I want to point it out because he's folding with two 2070s, a 2080, a 2080 Super, and a 5700 XT.
Jesus, that is a lot of folding.
Yeah, like what is your power bill, Warman? Like how do you keep all of that stuff running? That's amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's got to be the air conditioning that would be required to stay in that room.
Yeah, such madness.
I actually just bought off of Kijiji uh, group of 5 RX 470. They were mining cards, and they all need some sort of repair. So
Oh,
it's funny that
cool.
like this transition happened over to folding.
Yeah.
And like, what are the benefits? You're like, why do you fold?
Um,
Aside,
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much just because it's for a good cause. I mean
yeah,
I'm not smart enough to understand the research behind it. Like
yeah.
I don't understand what they actually use the protein folding like what that does. But it seems like it's for a good cause. And in our Discord, like two of the moderators reached out and they were like, we need to start a folding at home team, and it's just worked out surprisingly well.
Well,
I think yeah. How
I,
about you? Because you did a video on it.
I did it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then since I started taking my computers down. I just haven't turned it on in a while. So I just like I know a friend of mine does it for EVGA, and he collects like very minor points for all the folding that goes towards EVGA bucks or whatever. So just wondering
Yeah.
if there was some specific cause or something that you guys were doing.
Oh no, we're just doing Team David folding. Like it's pretty general. There's a pretty interesting comment. Someone asked what we think of the new B550 boards. So he's actually one of the moderators that was involved in getting the folding up and running. What do you think of the B550 boards?
Um, it's like not exciting enough for me to be even paying too much attention to it. It's like everything right now where it's like if I had the same level of enthusiasm as 6 months ago, it doesn't matter because you're not going to be able to buy them. I've been
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for a 10900K to become available for forever.
Yeah.
I even had one on pre-order from Canada Computers, and they put pre-order on their website even though they had no idea when they were getting them,
Yeah, yeah.
and they still haven't got them. I finally fought with them every which way I could to get my money back because I've seen them pop up on retail on Newegg like 3 times since then.
Oh, you
But
actually you paid for it. You put money down on it.
I'm dumb, and I pre-ordered because I don't get samples from Intel, never have,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I have a 9900K test bench for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
and you gotta upgrade. And actually, ASRock reached out this time and was like, "Do you want a Z490 motherboard?" And I got a Tai Chi.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool. That's exciting.
yeah. And G-Scale reached out and they're like, "You doing 10900K coverage? Do you want some Royal Trident
Oh,
Royal
what? Oh,
4000?"
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, I was getting all this stuff together. There's a new Lian Li case that's coming out very soon,
Oh,
and
okay.
I might have something to do with that.
Oh.
And so I was gonna like redo my test bench and all that, but I just haven't been able to get the processor. Yeah, like it's killing me. So
Yeah.
it's been a pretty lazy last couple of weeks. I was supposed to move into another office,
Okay.
and there was a sewer pipe running through it, and it's like along the walls, and I didn't really think much of it, and I agreed to it. And then when I got the keys, but I hadn't paid any money yet because
Oh,
the
okay.
landlord was kind of like a friend, like not a friend but an acquaintance. So he was like, "Here, you go start," and he had some stuff that needed cleaned up in it. I go in there and someone was flushing the toilet every 5 minutes, and you heard the sewage go.
Oh
It's like
no.
I can't film in here, so
Yeah. Oh
I got the
no.
hell out of there. And then so lucky because this new place is incredible. It just looks
Looks so
like
cool.
a New York loft or something. Like it looks so cool inside.
Yeah, I love the brick wall. I'm so jealous of that space. I'm sure
Yeah.
you're gonna do awesome stuff with that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I bought all the shelving. So like and like I was talking to you earlier, I've been going through like every cable and every I'm organizing it so that like I have a warehouse on half the side of my office, so I can go and
Oh,
just like,
that's
oh, I
so
need
exciting.
something. It's not digging through 5 totes or whatever.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
when you
that's
need like a
exciting.
DVI to HDMI adapter or something stupid just because you're doing a video about some weird piece of tech, and then you're like,
Yeah.
I know I have one of those. Where is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see like are you gonna do another vlog once you've set it up?
Yeah, people always say like vlog that stuff, and then I find it gets like
Yeah,
3,000 views. So
that's true. Yeah.
I'm not caring about it too much this time, but I
No,
don't know.
for sure.
I'll point a picture of here. I've got a picture on my phone. I'll put it up there because that's gonna be really great for the audience. Yeah, so that's
Oh,
what it's
what?
looking like so far. I got a bunch of shelving, and I got a microwave and a little mini fridge and stuff. So it's gonna get pretty good pretty soon, and I guess I'll have to do another vlog.
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying about that though. It's you know you're all excited about making the vlog, and then it doesn't do as well as you expect. I've also had that experience with that kind of thing. But it's so exciting. Like I'm very happy for you with that.
Yeah, man.
We
Your place is looking pretty good too.
Yeah, so I had to cat proof it because my cat is a little asshole. So like he does this thing where he can smell how expensive something is, and then he'll knock it off tables. So he really likes knocking my camera lenses off my desk onto the ground. So I had to get something that closes up. And he chews cables as well, which is like, there's so many cables. Why are you can't do that? So I've had to sort all of that stuff out. So it's entirely cat proof now, which is
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the main goal.
Art Animal's the best.
Yeah, right. And then he's so cute at the same time, so I can't be mad. You know, it's like it's weird.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly. We have a pug beagle mix, and he's year and a half, and he loves to eat my kids' Mario toys.
Oh, no.
And he knows that it's bad because he only like nibbles it a little bit, and you'll find it on the floor. Like he's like he took 3 bites out of it and went, wait a minute, I remember what happened last time.
Yeah. Oh no, is the spray gun coming again? Please, not again.
So yeah, I know exactly how that is. But lens is on the ground from the cat.
Yeah, luckily it's carpeted, so it hasn't broken yet. And like, yeah, so it's like, what are you doing? You don't know what? No, please.
So you're actually in like the Vancouver area.
Yeah. So I live just right out of downtown. So there's one of the big roads. Have you been to Vancouver before?
I have not, and I'm super sad that I'm not going to be there this year because I was this close.
Yeah, so close. Yeah. Oh, that was going to be so cool.
We could have done like some challenge or something. I want to do one of those scrapyard wars so bad. That's my dream. I'm so good at Kijijiing, man. Like, like that should be a Linus or an LTX thing where you have to, like, I guess it doesn't make sense. There'd just be too many people hammering the local area, but like that I'd love to do that so bad.
For sure. Yeah. The Vancouver area is pretty terrible in my experience though. Like I try and do that. I'm not very good at it, but I try my best, and the prices are terrible and the availability is pretty bad. But it would still be, Scrapyard Wars would be amazing.
Is it just hard to drive like too far, like, or what? You would imagine it's a big city. It should be easy, no?
Yeah, so it's not really like a transport issue. It's that the sellers want way too much for what they have, and when you're selling, people don't want to buy anything. Like it's this weird disconnect between people not seeming to know the value of what they have. And then I don't think it's the greatest secondhand market. Someone said, sorry, I can't stand David's laugh, man. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, it's I'll do a 10-minute ASMR David laughing video for you if that'll make it better.
Like, you know how they take the videos of Trump and just make it so where he's breathing, it's just do that of your laughs.
Yeah, just a bunch of yeah. Okay, that was pretty mean. that imitation.
What do you do?
yeah. I can't even blame it on like, because usually I'm like, if I make like grammatical errors, I'm like, I'm not English first language, so leave me alone. But I can't blame my laugh on that. It's just I just make donkey sounds. It's not my fault.
That's awesome. So you said, do you have anything else you were talking about before I want to ask my question?
Oh, you have a question? Yeah, that's very exciting. Please go.
So you pretty much went halfway around the world. Why didn't you pick like Ontario or somewhere closer to that would, or is it actually easier from Vancouver to get back home?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not easier. Vancouver is pretty much as far away from where I was born as that exists on this planet. But it's just so my dad actually used to live in Vancouver ages ago, and I came to visit him a couple of times. And I mean, I was very little. I don't remember much of it, but I just remember it being really beautiful, like the nature and stuff here, because it's like a combination of like Norway and like it's so awesome. And and another big thing was the weather. I was like, it's cold and snowy and nice. But Vancouver doesn't snow that much, I realized after moving here. It's actually not that cold here.
No, if you want it to snow, you come where I live. I live about 3.5 hours north of Toronto. And you could go to Toronto in the middle of, I don't know, December, January, and there's like very little snow. And anyone would go, man, it's frigid here. But then you drive up to where I live, and there's like this much snow on the ground. And it's minus 40 degrees Celsius. Like literally it will get that cold at night sometimes. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so Vancouver would look very similar to here, except for just lots of mountains, and like I'm sure it's very easy to just like go see snow-covered mountains from where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I can just look out the window. Like it's pretty weird because you can be on the beach and then there's like snow-covered mountains, you know. So it's an interesting it's an interesting combination. I really like that. Is it not very mountainous in your area?
No. In my city, there is where we live in like the gully of there's a big hill north of us that like it's so long they have like an arrestor bed for the transports when they're going down there, like just in case their brakes fail, they can go into this like zoned off area to just smash into stuff. So like if you in my town specifically, it's really beautiful, but it's just like kind of green, you know, halfway up the landscape, and then you can see over it. And then I'm really lucky in my hometown. We have a gigantic lake called Lake Nipissing.
Okay.
And there's just like amazing views all around this. It's a lake that's cool, big enough that you can't see the other side of it. You can see a few islands and stuff like that on it. So there's like a lot of beautiful scenery in my hometown. But then if you drive like an hour and a half to the next closest big town, it's called Sudbury.
Okay.
It's a mining town, and it is like flat and granite rock everywhere, and it just looks terrible. We call it Stink Town because it always like because of the mining industry that used to smell when you'd get there.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Oh, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful here. Like right now, it's amazing. So it's beautiful to live here for half the year for sure, and I don't mind the winter for like a month, but then it just gets too crazy here.
Yeah. So sorry to sidetrack here, but someone was asking about best value low profile GPUs. So Donald Nemesis wants to know what kind of recommendations would you have for like low profile GPUs for gaming?
There really is only 1650, and those are hard to get these days. Like, I wish someone would make like, why is there not a 5500 low profile or something like that? I was actually this is what's gonna be my emulation box.
Oh, cool.
And this little baby here is way more spec'd out than yours, and it's not too much bigger because it has an R9 Nano in it.
Ooh, that's so cool. Is a video coming up for that?
No, I've already done a video like reviewing this case with the Nano, and I've done a lot of Nano content, but I do have some Fury content coming up.
Oh, that's exciting. Is that the build you did with your son? Is it that PC? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, I didn't recognize it there for a second.
I have 3700X with a 1080 Ti underneath my television downstairs, and we never play anything but Switch down there. So I need to like shuffle the computers around because I'll need some sort of computer at home to game on.
Yes.
Once I move out of the office.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put that downstairs in place of that computer, and then I'll have. I got too many computers, but a guy from Germany sent me this cooler, which is for a Fury. And I put a Fury X in it, like the water, because the AIO on it was pretty much done. I tried to refill it because there was no fluid left in it. So I don't know why they ever made the AIO, because this thing stays at like 65 degrees.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, it's humongous, but what's like every GPU is humongous these days, right? So
Yeah. And
so I
it's like,
wanted to do a clickbaity title. Why did they ever make the Fury X an AIO when look at this is fine? Like,
yeah, yeah. And I mean, the thing is, like, if you still have to deal with the radiator on the smaller. So if anything, it'll take up less space now with that big cooler on it. That is
exactly.
really exciting. I can't wait for that video.
I haven't even ever seen. It has 6 heat pipes. This thing.
What?
Yeah, there's 6 heat pipes, and like that's just an extension of the cooler on it. But it kicks ass. So, subscriber of mine from Germany just said pay the postage on it and you can have it. And then when it showed up, it had all kinds of German chocolate in it too. So it's pretty cool.
That's amazing. German chocolate is some good chocolate. That's
Yeah, he was like, American chocolate's shit. And I was like, well, I'm not really American. And you did just shit me something, but sure, your chocolate's good. I'll give you a thumbs up on that. Thank you, sir. My wife is happy now.
Yeah. So, someone was asking about if that previous case was 3D printed.
No, it's, what is it called again? It's like a guy just had the metal stamped out and like for his own project.
Okay.
And then started making the cases, and he's got a website for them. And he had actually emailed me a few months ago, maybe a month ago, saying he had a way to put an AIO in this. And you just have to switch out like 2 of the panels, and it hasn't arrived yet. So there will be an update to this thing where you can put 120 mil AIO in it. So I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see.
Yeah,
but
space-wise, it's going to be interesting to see.
But as far as Mini ITX, this is the coolest little case. Like, and it's got really good airflow because it's all open. And
yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're not going too hard with it, it's not too loud either. So.
And the material you said was stamped metal? Oh, okay, yeah. It's metal. Oh, that looks awesome.
I'm sure it's CNC'd or something. Like it's what is it? It's like 308 cases or something like. I'll find it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'd like to check that out.
Yeah, because my brain does not. We're doing too much stuff right now.
yeah. There's so much information, right? Because like people, you often get asked questions about as a tech YouTuber. You know, I'm sure you also get a lot of tech questions about like very specific component combinations, and then you're like, I'm definitely gonna have to Google that first. Like, yeah. I can't remember all of the like whether or not like. Yeah, I can't even think of an example of how that would work, but there's just so much information.
It's 678case dot. Here, let me Google it.
Okay.
678cases.com, and
awesome.
That's really the you can get a couple different colors, but yeah, I'll put it in the chat here because it's the coolest little ITX case I've ever played with for sure. And usually thermals are such a big issue with that. And they're not at all because how open it is. And as long as you're smart enough to configure the fans, you know, I have a 3300X in it with a Wraith stealth, and it's fine. You just gotta. I even took off that little ring around the stealth, so it makes it like that much lower.
Yeah. I also took it off in that video that I did today. I also took the plastic shroud off because it's that little bit. Every little bit helps, you know.
Yeah, that case was cool too.
Yeah, the little Inwin, little Inwin B1. It's a really good platform for the AMD APUs. So it's got because there's a Chopin, which was like the older version of it that has a 150 watt power supply in it. This one has a 200 watt, so you've got like a bit more headroom. I'm thinking of like when new APUs come out, because there's some rumors about exciting AMD APUs coming out in the future. I think it would be a really good kind of platform for that.
If they could pull that off, which it certainly seems with the power of the 3300X, if you could just they're even saying 8-core APUs, but if you could have like if they could actually make an APU that can like 1080p game at like RX 570 or close to that performance, imagine.
Yeah, that would be the best thing ever. But it would make tech content really boring, because then at a certain budget, that's like the only build anybody will do for years, you know, because that'll be awesome.
And it would certainly cut into their like they'd be in competition with themselves for their lower end GPUs. So yeah, I could see you definitely have to keep the performance on it like to a certain level, but yeah. I hope that's all like I hope that it's more exciting than like the XT
Yeah.
that they just launched.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
100 megahertz bump. Yeah. Yay.
Absolutely no other spec bump.
Yeah. Is Intel? Are you pulling an Intel here? Is that what we're? But I think the next jump is supposedly going to be really big. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed for that.
I have a question for the comments and you.
Okay.
Do you have much Navi experience?
Yeah. So I've got I own 2 Navi cards. One of them is like it's like a waifu graphics card.
Yeah, I know, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that card is pretty terrible because its cooler is so noisy that like I
Yeah.
just don't ever use it. It's in the display cabinet up there now because it's just too noisy. And I have a stock 5700 XT, like the reference cooler, and that's also very hot and noisy. So I've kind of not been using it lately.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you have?
I'm thinking of making a video about this, but it's like, do you do this and then I've done this before, and AMD stops, like asking me stuff at launch times. So is it a good idea or a bad idea? But I have so many complaints with 5600s and 5700s, and like still having driver issues and black screens in games and
Still?
there's a PC that I put a 5600 in for a customer, and he's like just perpetually had issues with it. And then a buddy of mine who I recommended the 5600 had all kinds of issues with it, and it's always with like crashing in games, and usually like you do the DDU thing, and like these are fresh installs of Windows, and it's like just not older hardware really doesn't like or something. I don't know. So I need to like do some serious research on it. But I feel like if I did a poll, like, have you had problems with Navi cards? There would be a significant number of people that would be like, yes, I have.
Yeah. Because the thing is, so like one of the people in chat called Omega Pro, he builds he like works at a shop that has a really high turnaround of PC components, and he's told me many times that he has issues with people bringing back Navi card systems all the time because it's driver related issues. So yeah, he said here, if 10 get bought, 7 come back. That's the analogy that he's using there. But interestingly enough, I saw a video earlier today of somebody using a workaround to installing the drivers on the Navi card. So instead of using like the standard Catalyst software and whatever, they install it through Device Manager, which was interesting. And they said that it kind of helped out their stability issues that they've had, because the issues come from the AMD software as opposed to the actual driver unit, software. So that could be an interesting kind of comparison to make.
I've seen that workaround where you like install the driver and then you do DDU, and then the folder with all the drivers is on your computer so that you can go and use Device Manager to like manually load them. I've definitely seen someone try that workaround before, but I've had a lot of issues with them. So I'm glad that Omega there was able to verify. And it's not that they're broken. It's like most of the time it's software. You have to be like pretty savvy to buy one of those cards, which makes them really hard to recommend. And it's gotten to the point where, I was going to use one in my main build, but I embarrassingly use Cyberlink Power Director to edit, which is a very cheap, not very great editing software, but can you tell? Probably not. But it hates Navi cards. It'll work like fine for like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden like it's like OpenCL acceleration just hits like a bottleneck or something, and then it just everything chugs to a close. And it's unfortunate because my main system, I don't usually like have a big massive graphics card in it. I've had a Navi lying around. It's like, why not put that in there? But I just always go back to Nvidia.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one thing that I've also found with Nvidia cards is all of the other software support is also better. So like their screen capture works a lot better in my opinion. And you've got other stuff like RTX voice, which actually Interestingly enough, there's been really positive feedback about that, but I've had weird experiences with RTX voice. So like again with Omega Pro, we game together and he uses RTX voice on his mic, and every time he connects to me on Discord, it just shouts into my ear with like EMI noise and stuff, and he has to like do a bunch of stuff to fix it. So I don't know if anyone else has had that problem, but other than that, it seems like the Nvidia driver ecosystem is just so much more stable.
With the only exception is of that you have to log into it.
I hate that.
Yeah, if you could just get rid of that. You don't know how many times I just skipped by the GeForce experience, but I have. I've been embarrassingly been playing a lot of Fortnite lately.
Oh, okay.
And I finally logged into GeForce Experience, and it's really cool that it just captures all your gameplay. Like, it captures when you die. It knows like all that stuff, so you just don't have to worry about hitting a bunch of settings or in Radeon or having it, OBS open. It just does it for you. It's super cool.
Yeah. It's really like that. I think it's called shadow play, where it like captures the like exciting bits. That's such a great feature, and it saves on.
Yeah, but the fact that it was like one click, you didn't have to. It's just like, did you want to, when you do cool stuff in Fortnite, do you want videos of it? It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
You play a lot of Tarkov, eh?
I play too much Tarkov. So I started playing in January, and I have over 500 hours on my account already.
Oh,
so yeah, it's because I hate myself is the main reason I think that I play it, because it's the least forgiving game ever, and by the end of it you're just like shouting and throwing things in outrage, but it makes me feel alive, you know?
Oh yeah. I get it, man. When you're like one of the last people in like a Fortnite or a Battlegrounds game, and you actually like are physically shaking, and it's like you get shot in the head from out of nowhere, and like I've like smashed my the kid is sleeping. What are you doing? I'm like, I just died, mama. This is poor shit.
Yeah, it's serious. Like it's no, I get that. And I played Dota as well, which is a similar experience. Dota is also, it's so toxic. I actually stopped because of how toxic it was.
I've never been a big Dota guy. I was Counter-Strike for years. We used to have a clan, and like we had a server, one of the only servers in Northern Ontario. So like back when ping really mattered, because we were all on like the first gen of DSL or dial-up. And my buddy worked at one of the ISPs here, and we had our own CS server, and like no one knew where it was because he like literally like hid it underneath something inside the office to connect it to the backbone. And,
that's cool.
Yeah. So we used like a huge into CS, but I can't even play that anymore. Talk about toxic. Like
yeah. The voice chat in CS:GO is pretty
if it's not someone just blasting some music you don't want to hear, it's somebody being racist.
So much racism. Yeah, it's so weird. I played some Rust recently, and that like the global chat in that is like it's outrageous on all the servers as well. Like I thought I could find one, which it's just all terrible. Like I don't know what was going on there. Yeah, but I do actually want, because someone has started talking about Big Navi here, and I want to talk to you about just the up and coming GPU launches, because you do videos on that occasionally, and what do you think about that shroud design? Because you did a video on that, but what do you
on Big Navi?
On the RTX 3000 series.
I have a feeling that's not going to be the final design.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, like they're in last stage prototypes right now, so they're and if you look at that, and apparently like over 350 watt TDP on these things or something apparently, so there's no way that thermal design is going to be what the final. But if it does come to market, we'll see. I was totally wrong on that one too, because that was before, like a day later there was a better shot of the heatsink. That totally makes sense that it's intaking from both sides. No, I thought it was like a blower, and they had made some tube of air going through there, but
that would be cool though. That sounds interesting. Yeah. But I don't understand this, because the shroud design or the cooler, the actual fin array doesn't see, like there's like the triangular bits which aren't in the direct airflow of the what is that cooling? It's like wasting a bunch of space on the so Gamers Nexus made an interesting comment about it, where a company like Nvidia, they have like, it's so easy for them to just do, oh, let's have fun with the design and see what we can come up with, but they have several prototypes, you know, so it's I'm not particularly
like, especially when the last like reference cooler did so well. It looked so good. No one had a bad thing to say about it. I don't know why they would so dramatically change it.
Exactly. But the only I have a bad thing to say about it, which is why so many screws? I recently did like an Asus card that has 4 screws holding the cooler on. You don't need 700 million screws on a cooler. It's just annoying.
Yeah, I literally just took apart an MSI Twin Frozer or GTX 970, and I took all the screws off the back of it, and then when I pulled it apart, I realized I only needed to take the 4 around the GPU because the rest of them were just holding the mid plate on. And I was like, oh.
So
like, this is the way they should be made.
Yeah.
I've never even had a reference. Like, did you get 2060 or what reference?
No, this is not from first-hand experience. This is watching. This is so I've never owned a reference card other than the 5700 XT that I have.
Yeah.
Which also has hundreds of screws. Like, I liquid cooled it, and it was just, why? Why?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was pretty disappointing when that launched. It still had a blower on it with that little dent in it and stuff. Like, yeah. But water cooling it was pretty cool. So you just did that for a video? I didn't see that one.
So that was a while ago. I did because I originally, when I started my channel, had like a custom loop build, which I then updated, and I just screwed the pooch with that one. Like, it didn't go well at all. Like, it was a bit of a disaster. But so it was like in a Lee & Lee 011 dynamic, and I did like a hardline loop of it. And yeah, the temperatures were better, but I was still getting like 90 C, and my C, so there was something wrong with the loop, clearly. So that was, and the 3700X also got like 88 C while gaming, and I was like, this is not right. Tried everything, couldn't get it. I couldn't fix it. Like, I still haven't been able to. I did like several follow-up videos to try and get it to work properly.
Yeah.
I don't know what was up there.
Yeah, no, I did this guy here, and I was expecting it, you know, without a GPU load, and the way it's run isn't exactly right. But because I have the loop going from the rad into the pump, then directly into the CPU and block, which you probably want the rad then like going into the CPU block, not the pump in between, so that the stagnant water from the pump isn't like, I don't know. I don't even know if it matters, but I was expecting better than a 360 mil AIO temperature with it, and it's like exactly the same.
Yeah.
And when you count up all the money spent on this thing, it's like,
so expensive.
Who does this?
Yeah.
I know you can get really good temperatures, but if I was to do this again, or for performance, it's just like go with the biggest soft tubing you can find.
Yes.
And all the best, all the biggest fittings and stuff like that. So you get that flow. But yeah, custom water cooling. It took me a really long time to do another one from the first one I did, because it's just like such a hassle. It's such
a hassle, especially hardline. Hardline can die in a fire, quite frankly. Like, it's such a pain.
Yeah, I dig this, but yeah,
it looks good. It looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. I actually want to redo that build of mine, because like you said, it costs. Like, all of the actual custom loop components in there cost just so much money. So I feel terrible having it just sitting there. So I'm going to convert it to softline and see if I can get that up and running. But it's so much effort.
I've had pretty good experience with that. I had a kit from that was like a rad, a pump, and everything from one of those companies that does that, and it improved my Ryzen 2700X. Like 10 degrees C over a 360 mil rad or a 360 mil AIO. So it can be done.
Yeah.
It's probably best to leave the GPU out of it, or do it separately. Most of the time. So
Yeah, if you do it
Yeah.
separately, you need so much space though. You need like a case labs case, you know. You need
Yeah.
to like really get a bunch of cooling going. Have
Yeah.
you seen any stuff about the new EK AIO? It looks pretty good. Like it
Yeah,
seems.
I'd love to get my hands on one of them. Like that. That's got to be like I have 4 of the top 360 mil AIOs right now, and I'm thinking I should get one of those EKs if they do become. I haven't checked in a few days available because I'd like to pin that against all the best and see if that's if it's worth it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's that much more expensive, is it?
It's a reasonable amount more. I think Gamers Nexus posted a video about it yesterday, and I think it performs really well, but it's pretty pricey.
Yeah, they're EK. They're on their high horse. That's for sure. I've
They're like, "We're
when I was
better."
like, when I was like maybe 5,000 or maybe I had 10,000 subscribers, I was looking to do my first water cooled build, and I emailed them, and they literally emailed me back just to say like, "Bitch, please, you really think we're ever gonna send anything to you?" So I was kind of
Oh,
snippy.
what?
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
what?
and ever since I've become pretty legitimate compared to the first time I reached out,
Yeah.
they will not even reply to me or anything. Like, and I had a direct email for somebody, so I pissed them off. I'll never see anything from them.
That's outrageous. I mean, at least have the decency to ignore someone, you know? Don't just like straight up tell them like, "Oh, what do you really think we'll send you stuff?" What?
Like he literally said that, and like like that's German, right? Like they were.
Yeah.
It was like all this like German like you believe we're going to send you? And then what's funny is Alpha Cool like a month later sent me probably $1,000 worth of water cooling equipment.
Yo.
No question, like just here you go. And it's like, well, I like literally, I think that's probably what did it. Was I think I emailed the guy and was like, well, Alpha Cool's sending me all this
Oh,
stuff,
you
so I
did?
guess. I learned pretty early on it's probably not a good idea to piss these guys off.
Yeah, definitely. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat is telling me to speak Afrikaans. Nee, ek gaan nie Afrikaans praat nie. Hou op. Okay, there we go. That was they've been spamming it pretty much the whole like stream, so I just had to tell them no. There's my laugh again. Sorry.
Yeah. If that's one of my subscribers coming over here, it's saying your laugh's not nice.
It's fine.
You gotta subscribe and get used to it.
Yeah. I think it's something you get used to. I think it's because I mean maybe not. I still haven't gotten used to it. So maybe it's just gonna always great. Someone asked if I miss South Africa. Yeah, South Africa's great. It's a beautiful country. Yeah.
I followed Casey Neistat for the longest time, so I saw him go back and forth with there, and he's got like friends from there. And if you see like the right spots there, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you live like near all the mountains in like Cape Town or something like that, or?
Yeah, I lived in Cape Town for 4 years, and it's a really beautiful city. Like, cause that Table Mountain is this like it's this crazy mountain in the middle of the city. And it's awesome. Like it's and the food there, like especially pizza. Some of the best pizza I've ever had in my life in Cape Town.
Really?
Yeah.
Bold claims to be making about pizza.
Yeah, I mean I've had pizza all over, and it's like Napolitan. It's like proper
like
pizza.
Proper Italian pizza. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's next level. Fire oven and all that stuff.
Yeah. So the kind of like more like Canadian style, I would say, is definitely better here. But they've got some pretty good Italian pizza.
we have a spot in our hometown called Greco's, and it is like the best pizza, and it's I don't know if it's just like their own thing.
Okay.
They use like cornmeal on the crust and stuff like that, but like people come from like all over the place, and like they to get this pizza, even though it's like just some hometown place in my
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so everyone's got their favorite pizza, but I know.
Yeah, I'd like to try it out. I'd like to come visit the Timmy Joe PC Tech headquarters someday, and then we can.
Well, I'm well on my way to having like TJX soon.
Oh,
So
okay. That's you heard it here first. That's exciting.
yeah, it's probably not. Um, I wanted to ask, do you do many PC sales or do anything like that? Or just kind of stay with, like, do you sell extra computers that you get through the channel? Do you do anything like that?
I did for a bit, like I would kind of recycle parts, but I had this weird thing happen where every time as I sell a PC, I'm like, oh crap, I really needed those components for this video that I've now thought of. so I've kind of, I've kind of like, I haven't done it in a while. I did do it when I was living in Japan. I did it quite a lot because it's really easy to do there. They've got like, it's called Yahoo Auction. So it's kind of like eBay. But you can there was a convenience store that shipped it right downstairs, so I could just drop it off there. And I did it a lot there, but I haven't done it recently.
Yeah, we need some sort of more like secure way to do, like it would be nice if I could sell to someone, in Ontario and not have to worry about it, if I send this guy some money from PayPal or e-transfer, is he really going to send me the thing? Like, yeah. So, I know I've seen people talk about how that works there and it's like a little bit more safe.
Oh, for sure.
I've been like making a killing. I'm like a parts hunter. I look at Kijiji and everything and I buy from all over the place and get people to ship me stuff. So that's a big part of my business. Is been selling like 4 or 5 computers a month. And
oh wow, that's awesome.
I've been like really successful because the word of mouth has like really gotten, cool. Especially with coronavirus, like people have been buying up PCs like crazy.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like I'm bad for like, I can sell that. I'll always get another one of those. And then, you want to do some like Sandy Bridge or some older thing. And I used to have that motherboard. And,
yeah.
It's like, probably I need to I always had this dream of having like every chipset or like relevant chipset. So you could just like go and grab the motherboard off the shelf if you wanted to do a video about it. Yeah. I need to get back to doing that.
Yeah, that would be really amazing. I mean, have you should do like videos about your sales. I think that like your parts hunting and stuff. People really love that. I mean, in the comment section here, like people are getting all excited about it. It's a really popular topic.
And I have, but I should do it more. I should definitely because like that Tech Yes City does that.
Yeah, that kind of
made
thing.
A pretty good racket for it, for sure.
Yeah, because you do your noob pleb cells, which is really good. I like that series a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like he does like that kind of thing. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, clean it all up. Like I'm really bad for like. I got a laptop in here the other day, and it was like a friend of an old place I used to work at. His girlfriend dropped a drink on a laptop, and it was a Ryzen computer, and I knew that because I had fixed this once before when she let somebody from India team viewer into her computer for a few hours and steal all her credit card information.
Oh, what? No way.
Like, those like scams where you get, it's like, call this, it's a pop-up, it's like, call this number, Microsoft needs to whatever, so you call and they're like, Microsoft. She literally she brought it over, and he logged in as soon as I connected to the internet, and I was like, nope, and I closed the laptop again.
That's have you seen? There's a channel about a guy that does where he like scams those scammers where he like that's crazy that happened to her.
Yeah, I was like explaining. I've seen those. There's one guy that hacked, because like these guys aren't hackers; they're just like opportunists, right?
Yeah.
They're smart enough to get old people's money, basically.
Yeah.
And she did it, man. She gave them her credit card number, and I was like, you immediately have to call your credit card company and get a new card. Like you don't know what you did. So like I just wound up resetting Windows back for her. But before we get off on the other topic, the one guy hacks into the like scammers closed circuit television. And then he called them, found the camera of the guy that was on the phone with him, and was able to see his some information on his screen, so that he could then team viewer into his and like totally ruin them. And there was like a BBC expose on it and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely some worthwhile videos watching on scamming the scammers.
Yeah, those are great. There's that guy that dresses up like he like plays an old lady, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I just bought a scooter with like the money I was supposed to send you," and then you can hear them like going crazy. They're like, "No, you were supposed to send that to me, please." Oh, I love that guy's videos. It's so funny.
Oh yeah. So she dropped a drink, and I was like, I can't fix that. I've opened up so many laptops, and as soon as any like what's in any drink, some form of sugar, right, ruins it. But she literally dropped a glass of vodka soda on it, or like tonic water, so it was not all gummed up, and like the keyboard was like pressable. So it's like, oh, I'll try it, and I took it apart and cleaned all of the corrosion off of the motherboard with a toothbrush. And halfway through this, I'm like, why am I not making a video on this? I think I'm gonna fix this laptop, and sure enough, I fixed it. It was perfect.
It worked.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah. How much did she dump? Like a whole drink out on it? Was it?
Yeah, like but it was vodka soda, and I was like, are you sure? Like, no one just spills, like alcohol and water on their laptop. You just gotta have like some Sprite or something in it. She's like, I'm pretty sure. I was like, well, how drunk were you? But no, there was like a huge bit of corrosion over like the battery terminals, and it was a Ryzen like 5 APU, and I got it all back up and running, and I was like, this was a perfect video, and I didn't like, why didn't I do it? And then so I need to like get in the mindset of like anything is content, because who cares if it gets 5,000 views or something? Like, someone's going to want to see how that laptop opens up, in 6 months, and then they'll find my video.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, like that's it. It sometimes YouTube also like 8 months down the line, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, everybody, here's this video that has no one's watched ever before, So that's a good idea. I'd really like to see that. Maybe you can recreate the circumstances. You can just like dump out vodka soda on one of your laptops.
That's. I don't know why I didn't make a video on it, but it was a pretty easy fix once I got a lot of brake cleaner all over the motherboard and stuff like that. And then another one, my cousin was looking for a laptop on Facebook. Anybody got a laptop for sale? And I love people that do that. There are places you can go and look at used computer sales on the internet. Why are you just asking your Facebook friends, does anyone have a laptop I can buy from them? But I just so happen to know someone that had an Alienware laptop with like a 47 HQ or something in it. And he has it for a week, and then he messages me, of course, at like 4 a.m, because he's like a night hawk, and he's making my phone jiggle in the middle of the night. He's like, I wasn't having very good luck getting the audio on my TV, so I updated the BIOS, and now the computer won't turn on. And I was like, so much is wrong with what you just. But okay, so I'm like, would you use the installer on like the Dell site? So I go and look, and as I was going to say, like, I was going to take a picture of like, caution, don't do this unless you know what you're doing. And then on their product page, it says urgent because of Meltdown Inspector BIOS update. They want you to put that on there. Yeah. And halfway through the BIOS install, it's an exe file in Windows, the computer crashed and it wouldn't turn back on. And I was like, there's no way we're going to fix this. Yeah. But there was a BIOS flashback option for that laptop. And after like 3 hours of me rooting around forums and stuff, I actually was able to put a USB key in it with the proper BIOS on it, which was not straightforward because you can't just get like the .rom file from their website. You have to get that exe. There is no like regular BIOS. But there was a way to extract it using some command line commands, and I actually got the thing to work, and I was like, why did I make a video on this? Like, this would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And it's cool that they have that feature, because that's like, like when you were telling that story, my first thought was like, yeah, it's that laptop's a goner, because if you botch a BIOS BIOS flashing, that's like, that's really cool. I actually saw one for sale in my local area. Maybe I should get one of those guys and and try and break it and then see if it can come back.
And there was no like official documentation from Alienware or Dell that I could find on the process for this. It was like someone on like a forum from 5 years ago just outlined a quick, like, this is what I remember on how to do it.
Oh, okay.
And it was not very straightforward to like all the steps, but like it's always great when you finally figure it out. I'm the kind of guy that I'll try for like a day too long to fix like a motherboard that won't post.
Yeah.
But like 1 out of every 5 times,
Yeah.
I will get it to post after that day, and it's like, yes.
Yeah.
I actually had one of those yesterday where, or a few days ago, I was building a computer for someone, and like I knew the motherboard worked. And another computer I should have done a video on because it was the dirtiest computer I had ever seen in my life. I don't know if you saw on Twitter the one like or on Instagram, like it was a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo that like had a cake of like this thick of dust behind the fan. But I made sure all the parts worked even with all that dust on it, and I knew it posted. I built it in another computer, and then it wouldn't post. And it turned out I plugged the USB 3.0 header in and bent all the pins together so they were shorting out.
Okay.
And it took me 3 hours to figure that out, but I figured it out.
Yeah. You got there eventually. That's a pretty good diagnosis though, because that's not something you look for, you know. So that's awesome that you got that going.
I don't give up. I'm like I will like microscope that motherboard until I figure out what's wrong with it. Oh, that like I've gone through all the pain of that before and then realized that like a cap's missing, like clear right off, and then I look on the floor and it's on the floor and it's like, when did I do that? But I've never successfully soldered one of those back on.
Yeah, that's a terrifying process. Getting a soldering iron anywhere near a PCB is like a graphics card or something. Is
I saw you do that the other day.
It was nerve-wracking because I was just waiting. So my terminology for people who like overly correct on tech channels is like Gary's. So I was just like the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, Gary's are gonna come out of the woodwork about my soldering work. Luckily not. I was surprised because I just had a flashback to like to Jay's 2 cents and his soldering experience where like everyone was outraged about what he did there. So I was so scared of that, but it actually didn't go too badly.
Yeah, all the Garys with their you didn't put the thermal paste on right, like. No matter how many times you can make fun of it, like, you know, directly to your audience, and, like literally say like, I'm going to do this wrong. Someone will go to the comments and say it again. Like,
yeah, I don't even show it anymore. I'm like, no, it's just, it causes, like, it works. Shut up. Leave me alone. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. There was a few videos where I was trolling pretty hard on how bad the thermal paste application. I was just doing it on purpose and like ignoring people in the comments about it. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's a pretty fun process. I just found the picture of that cooler, and that is madness. Where did you find it? It's so dirty. That Hyper 212.
That was a really good deal on Kijiji. It was I don't even think he had pictures of it, but he said 3770K motherboard and RAM for like $250 or $150. Sorry.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, damn, that's a really good price, like, especially right now. And I just wanted to make sure that he knew what he was talking about a little bit. So I asked, like, what's the motherboard? And it was, you know, an overclockable motherboard.
Okay.
And then I went and picked it up, and it was it was in a case. And I was like, oh, I get a free case out of this. And it was, like, the worst case ever. And he had one of the side panels missing. So it was like, well, the case is no good. But it was the dirtiest computer I'd ever seen. And it's, like, one of those computers where I spent a good 2 hours stress testing it after I built it because I'm like, this cannot come back and explode in my face. Because there was one time I used a power supply off Kijiji that was pretty dirty, and it blew up like the next day after I sold the computer to the guy. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah, that's especially power supplies. That stuff is that's scary. But do you think it was because of the dirt that it just something shorted, or?
He told me it was like, I think the ad said barely used too, and I blew it out, and I was like, oh my god. And it was one of those times where like, if I try and order a power supply, I promise this guy this computer today, then I you know, I'm going to be 3 days waiting for one. So I'll just, you know, whatever, I'll try it. And he's like, I plugged it in and I was playing you know, Apex for like a half hour, and all of a sudden it died and there was a really bad smell, and I'm like, that's unfortunate. 600 watts, those like really cheap thermal takes with the ketchup and mustard, you know, those ones aren't too good, especially when you get them from like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, when it's like very, very used as well. Yeah, I think I think only like a Seasonic or something like that you can buy like really used.
Yeah.
Because it starts getting sketchy with stuff like I think I know what Thermaltake you're talking about.
Yeah, I've always thought Corsairs and like it doesn't even matter. You could buy a Corsair that's made from one manufacturer and the next one's made from some other OEM. So it's not like saying a Corsair power supply is a good power but luck of the draw with all of them. But those like I think they were like kind of black and green with like a red label. Thermaltake power supplies. Maybe they have yellow writing on them. There's just like one, and I'm like, if I ever see that again, I'm never gonna buy it. Never gonna touch it.
No, for sure. That like I think I know what power supply you're talking about, and those look pretty scary.
Yeah. 500-600 watts. They're never don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone was asking earlier about used mining RX 470. Someone was looking to buy one. Do you have any experience with that?
Yeah, I bought 5 of them yesterday, and they're coming, all mining. And the guy was very forthcoming. He he had an ad for like working ones, and I was like, I want to buy like a lot of them, and they're all 470 4 GB models, and he had them listed for $140 each. And I was like, how many of these do you have? And we got to talking. He's about 3 hours away from me, and he had like 15 of them or something, and he's like, at least like 7 of them need to be repasted, and like 5 of those need a fan or 2. So I was like, 5 of them, what's the best deal you can get? And so I should be receiving 5 used mining RX 470s that are all in disrepair but working. And he said he showed all of them. Like, he was pretty meticulous. He loaded Unigen for all of them with the driver, just to like make sure there's no artifacting and stuff.
Okay.
And
good.
like they instantly like shot up to like 85 degrees. But he's like, as long as they'll repasting and putting better fans on them will work. Sure. Mm-hmm. So they RX 580s. Would you say that's like one of the best, or like 480s, 580s like cards of all time as far as just like being rock solid go-to cards?
Yeah, they're so great. I really think they're gonna be legendary one day. We're gonna tell our grandkids about it, because it's how long has it been out? Like the 480 came out when Linus dropped it when he was talking to Lisa Su. Like, what was that, like 4 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2000, end of 2016, something like that.
Yeah, and it's still like it's still one of the best buys new in that price point. Like it's crazy.
You can't go wrong with like any of them.
Not at all.
Like a 4 GB and an 8 GB. Like some games are going to take advantage of that, but like with the power that it has, and as long as you're not expecting too much from it, they're like, you cannot go wrong. And they're so rock solid. Like that's why I was saying Navi. Like still, it's a year later, we're still seeing driver issues with them. Where an RX 580, it's going to work like every single time. Yep. Even if it's been in a mining rig for like however long. So yeah, that's why I bought so many of them. I'm like, for used PCs, these will be perfect, and just have like an inventory. So I got them for $440 shipped for 5.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to like buy a few fans or something, but like that's not a big deal. Even if one of them ends up being dead, like you can't go wrong. Right now, can't even buy an RX 580 for $200 Canadian right now.
Yeah, it's getting worse by the day. I was looking for another ITX board, because for the build I used my kind of like test bed ITX board, and you can't find them. They're not in stock anywhere. And it's all like, I mean, all parts are an issue at the moment, but it's just it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah, we sure get shafted, like relying on China for, in the relations and like the shipping and all that. Like I've been waiting for a couple things on Amazon that are not Prime eligible, and you're like, I'll buy it anyways, like for 3 months right now. So things are really bad, and we just got to a point where we're like, things were getting better.
Yeah.
Like, we had a good year there where things were like finally at a low point. Memory was really cheap, and Yeah, power supplies were cheap. Now it's like you can't even find a power supply.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, yeah, we've literally just recovered from the great drought of 017 or 018 or whatever.
Yeah. At least back then you could buy like certain parts fairly cheap, but like right now everything is just so bad.
No, for sure. It's a dark time for PC gaming. Hopefully all of the new launches will help, but like I feel like production is, like you were saying with trying to find a 900K. It's just it's paper launches at this point because I don't think they can make enough.
It's so terrible. I'm contemplating buying a scalped one on eBay, like for $1,000, and I really shouldn't do that. I know, like if you where I'm at, if I on eBay.ca, if I go and look for 10900K, the first one that shows up, not that you guys are going to be able to see it, but hold on. Oh, it's changed. It literally looks like the guy walked out of a micro. Oh, here it is. It literally looks like he walked out of a micro center and held it up in his hand and said, "Time to make fucking $300 on this one, boys."
Try to make bank. That's just so shameless. Like that. That's
exactly.
Like,
what the hell? So bad. So yeah, I don't know, man. People and their scalping, but spend $1,000 on that. I can't do that. That's
no. What about? What about like a 10700K? Do you? I mean, it's essentially a 9900K, which you already have, but
I can't do that again. I need the best one.
Oh, okay. No,
like when, of course, we could. It's always the same story. We could go back to the 9000 series, and I got a motherboard from Gigabyte, and I couldn't find a 9900K to save my life, so I wound up buying a 9600K.
Okay.
And that's probably one of my most down-liked videos of all time, because I just like ragged on the 9600K for being $50 more expensive than the 2600.
Okay.
And like having half the threads, and it has like over 500,000 views, that video, my 9600K like sucks video.
Okay.
And it's funny because it has like more dislikes than likes. And you can tell there's a lot of Intel fanboys that like that was the CPU, that's all they could afford, and then they went and looked on YouTube and found my stupid video where I'm just like bad mouthing the crap out of it. And there's so many people hating on me, but it still to this day keeps getting views. Like it gets like 50,000 views a month sometimes, and it's just like it's funny how YouTube works like that, eh?
Yeah, because they tell you need to get like your like to dislike ratio up and stuff, and then sometimes it just pushes stuff that like your experience. Yeah, but I mean that's a valid point you had though. Like it's just terrible value compared to the AMD alternative,
And especially when I get comments on that, like these days, I'm just like, come on, like 3600 is so much better of a CPU, and you're gonna come here and like you just bought a 9600K and try and argue that point now. Like it wasn't a very good point back then. Like it's completely moot nowadays. Like I don't know, 6 cores.
Yeah, no.
I would say like that's creating a bottleneck in certain situations.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's really not going to age well, those CPUs.
No, not at all. Yeah. So I kind of agree with you. I think the Garys were just having a field day there. they were just having a great time on that video. But if you said that it's great, then I'm sure people would have been outraged as well. It's like
you can find each side of each coin no matter where you look.
Yeah, no, exactly.
What would be your most viewed video?
The Wish. I bought a fake graphics card off of Wish. So that was I had like 2,000 subs, I think, when I posted that video, and then it just went viral over 2 weeks, and it helped me grow significantly. I was actually really lucky because
holy shit, 4.8 million views.
Yeah, it went ham. So that was, it couldn't have come at a better time, because I moved to Canada and I had 3 months worth of savings where I was like, I have 2,000 subs, but I feel like I can do this. I'm gonna just try it full time, try YouTube full time. And I got to the end of that 3-month period, and I was still at like 2,000 subs, and I was getting ready to start looking for work, and then that video just happened. It couldn't have been better timing.
Good for you, man. The most views I have is 1 million, probably 1.1 million, and it's from those guitar lesson days.
Okay.
And I had neighbors having a party beside me when we had like a 6-month-old, and there was like in the middle of the night, all of a sudden you just heard these subwoofers booming like 1:30 in the morning, and my kid wakes up crying, and the wife goes and tends to him, and I go out and go yell at the neighbors who, like, we lived in a very collegey area where like every other house was a college flop house.
Okay.
And they're having a party, so I go tell them to stop, and like no one that even lives there answers the door, and everyone's just like laughing at me. They're like, somebody's at the door, and I'm like super pissed off. We call the cops. The cops are like, come on, we have like, real problems here. they don't show up. So in the morning, of course, the kid gets up at like 6:30 as normal. I take a boat horn and I video record myself from several different angles, going into their backyard and blasting the boat horn right at their windows. And it's like maybe 3-minute video of me doing this, illegally going into someone's backyard and boat horning some like hungover kids or whatever. And I post this video of it, and it doesn't do very well or anything. Like, I maybe had 3,000 subs at the time, or 5,000. And then there was a video that went viral of 2 neighbors fighting with broomsticks like they were Jedis, and people put like Jedi noises to it. And my video was always suggested after that, and I got like 600,000 views in like 3 days. And it was what? This is amazing. And then because it's a 3-minute video and it's like not a very good video, I made like nothing on it at all.
Oh, that's a shame.
I think that's still my most viewed video.
I've seen it. Yeah. It was really funny. It's interesting that how the timing worked there with the the Jedi neighbor fighting, and then that just pushed that.
Yeah, YouTube's weird. And then weird. I have a video on the 2080 Ti and 9900K versus Crysis, and that video almost has 1 million views and gets
so good.
It's when you look at the how much money it's made. Oh my god, it's like ridiculous money that video's made. It's crazy how like just this right combination of stuff on YouTube can like make the difference between like $1,000 over like 6 months and like $5,000 or something. That's like crazy.
Yeah, and the view time. I mean, that video is like 27 minutes or something. That Crisis video is quite long. So that view time, I'm sure helps a lot as well for the for the whole AdSense thing.
I'm meaning to do more of those videos, like where I play old video games on high-end hardware, but I did a couple more after that and they didn't do as well, and you get like put it on the back burner. And
yeah, that was a really interesting topic though. I really like those videos.
I think it's getting more views lately because of the Crysis remaster that was announced. I must be like on the back end of some of those announcement videos or something.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, but that series was really good. I was really happy for you when I saw that video doing well, because it's such an awesome topic, because that game, it was such a killer back in the day. So to see it, to see how it runs on more powerful hardware was really interesting.
It's so such an awesome game that there are a bunch of mods to try and like add ray tracing and stuff like that. And I've gone through all the process of filming me like an intro and then like talking about the mods for Crysis, and then I get them all loaded up and I look at the side-by-sides and I'm like, there's no video here. The mods aren't that much better because the source material was so good that like the HD textures make it look a little bit better, and then the ray tracing thing was like glitching out like crazy, so I was like, another back burner thing. But yeah, have to do like the 3080 Ti and 10900K versus Crysis or something later on.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait for the new generation of cards. I'm hoping that because, like the whole going from the 10 series to the RTX was all we got was RTX basically. So I'm excited to see what, like, if we're going to get another big jump. I'm kind of hopeful. I'm the most excited about the mid-range though. You know, so like if they, because like we were talking about the RX 580 before, we need that, like we need that jump in power there for more, you know, the price range that people buy components at.
Like really the 5600 XT should be $200 US.
Yes.
And it is not, and it especially isn't right now. So like we need that card for the masses for like I guess 4K for the masses, or like what do you I guess 1440p for the masses. I don't know how you'd market it, but
yeah. So I think they should try and go for the whole high refresh rate thing, because I've done a couple of videos looking at, you know, like something like an RTX 2060 at 1080p high refresh rate, and I know a lot of it has to do with CPU bottlenecks. That plays a big part, but even the more, like, I mean, you can't even really call the 2060 mid-range because of its price, but it's, you know, even those cards struggle. So I think if they can get like proper high refresh rate 1080p performance from like sub $200, that I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I just I have a customer. He just dropped off the computer, and I'm doing like an upgrade for him, and he has a 47, like a Haswell i7 and an RX 580, and he bought a 240 hertz monitor for it. And he was asking me about like you know, 1080p, what would be the best mid-range graphics card to, you know, for high refresh rate. So like I'm starting naming the usuals, and then he's like, it's a 240 hertz monitor. I'm like, oh well, that's you'll need like what, like for 1080p 240 hertz, you'll need a 2070 Super. And then he went and bought one. Like, and that's not a mid-range graphics card. That's pretty expensive considering.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the biggest problem with that is just also the CPUs. Like I feel like even with like the fastest gaming CPU that I've used is a 9700K at like 5.1 gigahertz, and that's still a bottleneck for like high refresh rate gaming. So 240 is like CS:GO maybe. Like, you know, there's like a couple games that you can get running at that. And
you know, a lot of guys in the comments could probably be like, well, you can turn the settings down, and you know, but I'm not a settings down kind of guy.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You know, I bought the high end stuff not to like look at, you know, a potato while I'm high refresh rate gaming. It's got to look good too, right?
No,
so, sure, yeah. It's like even Fortnite. I have a 1440p 144 hertz monitor, and the 2080 Ti with epic settings just does it.
Oh, right.
Like 140 frames a second, and it's like, can't the 2080 Ti run 1440p 144 hertz like that? As if it can't. It just doesn't even make sense with the 9900K. So yeah, there's some advances that need to be done there for high refresh rate for sure.
No, definitely. I also use a 1440p high refresh rate monitor, and like I have a 2070 Super, and it struggles, like especially when you're streaming, because I use NVENC to stream my gameplay, and you need that like that 5-10% kind of like off. If you go above 90% GPU utilization, it starts dropping frames and behaving weirdly. I have to turn settings way down to get that at 1440p. So that's what I'm really excited for. So I've always streamed like with two PCs, just, you know, trying to eliminate that a little bit of performance. But I should try with the new NVENC and stuff like that. It's a lot different nowadays. But I'm always the kind of guy that you then run into other issues where you've got to run the computer through a capture card that has to then output a good like high refresh rate signal while only capturing 60 frames a second. And I run into issues where like at all that, when I have that all set up, your monitor will go black like once every 5 minutes because there's just the bandwidth isn't there in like that cable I'm using. The DisplayPort cable isn't good enough for like, or sorry, HDMI, because there are no DisplayPort capture cards. I've had that issue as well. Like it's the moment that you start sending that stuff through, that's kind of why I like the whole NVENC thing, because I'm too impatient. Like the moment that I need to get something to work, I'm like, no, why? So I feel that. I just have one last question before I need to go that I want to ask you about, because I feel like, because we're PC tech related, This is a topic that causes a bit of controversy. But how do you feel about the PS5 announcement trailer? Have you been looking at it?
Yeah, been looking at the memes.
Yeah, the
It's funny
humidifier
because
memes.
anyone that's likes Alienware computers has already seen this design. Like they pretty much just took one out of their playbook, right?
Yeah.
But as far as the hardware is concerned, there's some pretty cool stuff that's going on there. Like when you're a console, like I don't get console gaming. Like I've had PS4, and it was like I want to play the new God of War. So I went on Kijiji, bought a PS5 or PS4, bought the new God of War, played through it, and then sold it immediately afterwards because I know I'll never use it. And now I'm kicking my butt because The Last of Us.
Yes,
I don't have to do that over again.
Yeah, but then you can just sell it again.
Exactly. It'd be easier than anything else these days. Like it's a pretty easy to find a used PS4. That's for sure.
For sure, especially after that announcement trailer. I'm sure the prices have been dropping.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the game advancements though, because they're bringing like ray tracing in. They're bringing really crazy audio processing. That's something that I think is there was that Unreal 5 engine demo where it's like the sound is so much better, and that's such a big part for me. So I think as far as PC gaming goes, it's going to have a huge benefit because it's the first actual jump. I feel like PS3 to 4 it's pretty lame, but this looks more interesting. So hopefully we're going to get another Crysis and that kind of, it's going to be like better visuals, hopefully.
Yeah, and them all being x86 based with Ryzen, like there's no way this doesn't benefit us all. Yeah. And but I don't see myself buying one, that's for sure.
Yeah. I may want to do a video on it though, on the new consoles. I'm still thinking of that.
Yeah, like just kind of overview of what's coming, or like buy one when it comes out.
Like when it comes out, do like a comparison between the new Xbox and the new PS5 or something. I thought about trying.
Good content for sure.
I'm not sure yet though. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, so I've unfortunately run out of time. I'm really sorry about that. I've really enjoyed our stream though. This was really fun.
Yeah, and we didn't even like have points of like written down or anything. We just bullshitted for an hour and a half.
Yeah. And I feel. Are your videos scripted?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, well, as far as scripted, like I don't write every line. I have a whiteboard that goes underneath my camera that I will write out points that I want to make sure I get on there. And my way of scripting is usually do it, freestyle once and look at the camera and it's been 20 minutes. And it's like, I can't put out a 20-minute video on this when I already have like 5 more minutes of B-roll and stuff to show. So I'll do like 4 takes until I get it in that time frame. But do you do any scripting?
No, I do the exact same thing where I just sit and talk crap in front of a camera for like ages and then I like cut it all together. But so I think that's why the streaming worked, because we could just like we're both just used to we're both just used to pulling it out of somewhere,
Yeah, no, that's definitely the way I work. It's all just about getting it in that cue in my head in the right way, and then you get into like your 5th take and you're like halfway through you're talking, you're like, did I already say that or was that the last take?
Yeah, it all blends together at some point. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've had a lot of fun too. I'm surprised my 5-year-old hasn't busted through the door yet, so I also have to go. But we should do this again sometime. Sure. And thanks to everyone who we didn't talk to in the comments.
Yeah. We can do like a comments-focused stream at some point in the future. I think that could be interesting.
I want to get your take on this real quick.
Yeah.
I signed up for Cameo. Do you know what that is?
No. What is that?
It's an app where you can like pay. It's meant to like get stars and stuff to do like little videos for you. So you'd like pay them $20 or I don't know, however much it is, and they'll like break up with your girlfriend for you or something. But I thought I get so many requests I can't answer on Instagram or on email about computer tech. Is it shady to like set up a Cameo where if you have a computer question, you can pay me like $5 to reply to you in a video about like what I think the problem is, or give you some troubleshooting steps, or like should that just be free to all, or do you think I can pay or ask for money for that?
I don't know, because I've also been in that, where you kind of think like when it's free, there's everybody, like there's so much of it, you just get like spammed with questions about it. So I feel like adding a pay layer to something where you're answering very basic tech questions, which all you really need to do is Google it, quite frankly, which is which is what a lot of the questions are, right?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people do that, and I think that I don't. It's your time, if you have to sit and like respond to comments for free, like or like to all these kind of tech questions, you don't have time to make like content and stuff that you need to earn a living, right? So I think I don't think it's shady.
I'm surprised I haven't seen anybody do it yet. So I thought if I like started advertising that, you can Cameo me for $5 and I'll answer your computer question. And I actually like have to go there because you paid me the money to do it. It's not just in my general Instagram inbox that I only look at every other day. Like yeah. So I've been thinking of doing that. So we see some people in the comments seeming to say, pay for your time, bud. So maybe it's something I'll think about.
Yeah, no, I think so, because like a lot of tech YouTubers have like paid Discords as well, where if you like pay, they've got like a Patreon layer for their Discord, and then you can go in there and get tech advice, and I think that's the same thing, and a lot of people, or it's like the same kind of thing, and a lot of people do it, so I don't think it's shady at all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay,
well,
thank you.
You have yourself a wonderful day.
Same to you. Thank you. We should definitely do this again soon.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
And thanks to everyone who watched. And if you're coming from my end, go subscribe to Dawid, man. He makes amazing videos just like I do.
And the other way around, if you're in the comment section and you haven't seen Timmy Joe yet, go check him out. I have you linked in the description of this stream, so go check him out.
Thank you very much. All right, well, we'll see you